Hey there guys, John Campea here. Thanks for visiting my movie vlog, and I want to talk a little bit about, of course, one of my favorite shows on TV the last couple of years, Star Wars Rebels. As we know, Season 4 is coming up. It's the final season, and they just released the latest trailer for Season 4. Now, yes, they've already put out a trailer for Season 4 before, but I think this one is vastly superior for a couple of reasons. One, it has more emotional depth, it touches on more storylines, and it seems to suggest we might be getting answers to a lot of questions we've been asking. Just overall, as a tease, this is a great little trailer. There's a whole bunch of little tidbits in this trailer that get me thinking and theorizing. I just want to share some of those with you now because I want to hear what you guys have to say about them, all right? First thing I got to bring up. Okay, what happens with Ezra? Throughout the series, there have been teases about him being drawn to the dark side. And it kind of felt like they sort of abandoned that a little bit in the last season. Like they just had one quick conversation. It's like, oh, okay, no more dark side problem for Ezra. But maybe they haven't. And they seem to suggest it, or at least tease it a little bit in this trailer. When there's this conversation going on, you hear it between Ezra and, of course, his Jedi Master, Kanan. And he brings up the conversation of, it's not if we fight, it's how we fight, right? And then you hear Ezra, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically saying, well, what if we're choosing to fight the wrong way? Like, maybe that's just an innocent line. Maybe he's just suggesting a new strategy. Or could this be suggesting that we're going to revisit this whole issue of the dark side's draw on Ezra? And does Ezra ultimately turn to the dark side? Not a lot of that is given away in this trailer, but that one line seems to suggest we're going to get to revisit that question and maybe find out things we don't want to know. One of the things that really made my heart happy watching this trailer is seeing the TIE Defender. Now, one of the reasons I get so stoked about the TIE Defender is because I get excited when I see Star Wars bringing into canon, like, old stuff that I remember from way back in the day, whether it's the West End Games role-playing game or a couple of my favorite video games of all time, X-Wing and TIE Fighter. And of course, 1994's TIE Fighter is where the TIE Defender was first introduced. And from an aesthetic point of view, the design really hasn't changed at all. It's that same fighter that we got to see in the original game. Now, the TIE Defender is not just being introduced for the first time here in Rebels. It has been used already in different material. It's just really exciting for me as a big fan of TIE Fighter to see the Defender back. Another one of the great things this teaser trailer seems to suggest to us is that we're finally going to get some resolution of the romantic nature of the relationship between Kanan and Hera. This is something that's hinted at and suggested even before the cartoon series began, all the way back in that novel, New Dawn. It was suggested there, but we've never really seen it fully manifest. We hear a few lines said between them in the shows, some things that seem to suggest there's something going on, but it seems like, according to this trailer, we are full on going to get head-to-head. They're going to talk this out. They're going to figure out, where do they stand? Do they end up together before their, Kanan's eventual demise? Because I do believe Kanan also dies in this season of Rebels. And sorry, I know that's not a happy thing to say, but I think he's going to die. And it's going to leave Hera very heartbroken. Of course, we know Hera survives because we hear her name and we see her ship in Rogue One. So we know she's going to survive Rogue One. But will Kanan? I don't think so. Will they be lovers? Will they be intimate? Will they be married by the time he dies? I don't know, but it seems like we're at least going to get some answers about the status of their relationship. Oh, and Forrest Whitaker is back as Saw Gerrera. Now, of course, he was in last season, but he just had a small part. It felt like to me, at least from this trailer, the trailer seems to suggest that Saw Gerrera may actually play an important role in this season, these 15 episodes. Now, whether or not all the stuff we heard from Saw Gerrera in the trailer happens in one episode, or whether it happens over a span of 7 or 8 episodes, I don't know, but it does feel like he plays an important role. And I love the fact that we're already seeing that huge disparity between him and the rest of the rebellion. It's like, yeah, you want to be Mon Mothma's bitch, you go ahead and do that. You want to do things her way, fine. You want to get something done, you follow Saw Gerrera. One of the most intriguing things about this trailer to me, though, was the introduction of the Loth Wolf and the Loth Cat and stuff like that. The cat has been there since episode 1 of season 1, and it has consistently popped up here and there throughout the seasons. There almost seems to be something bigger at play here, because what we know is that one of Ezra's inherent abilities, especially in the Force, is his ability to communicate with creatures and other creatures, right? So we've been seeing that at play, whether it was with space whales or other types of things going on in the show so far. Maybe that comes into play here with the wolves. And is there a deeper connection? Is there a more symbolic representation with that damn cat? this trailer suggested to me we're going to find out something deeper that's been going on behind the scenes, things that have been outside of Ezra and Kanan's view about something bigger at play here, forces that have been directing and maybe moving Ezra along. Maybe something has to do with that cat. Maybe I'm reading far too much into it. Totally possible. But I think there's something there, and we're going to see just how big it is. One of the things in the trailer that I felt was a bit unnecessary was the whole Grand Moff Tarkin talking about Krennic and Stardust and, oh, Krennic's project shows great promise. It's like, okay, come on. That's just kind of pandering a little bit to the whole Rogue One connection, because look, at this point in canon, at this point of the story, the Death Star is already well under development. It's already well on the way. They're not just thinking about the Death Star at this point. That Death Star is well in construction, like for a lot of years already. We already know this. So the whole lines between Thrawn and, of course, Grand Moff Tarkin about talking, well, Krennic's project is showing promise. Like, that seemed kind of forced. Unless that conversation between Tarkin and Thrawn is a flashback to like maybe 10 or 15 years ago or something like that. If that's the case, then super. As it played on its surface, if it is happening in present day, then it feels a little bit forced and kind of like pandering, and I wish they would have just left that out. And obviously the whole storyline with Sabine and Mandalore, that's obviously going to be a big thing. If there was any ever doubts about that, this trailer puts that to rest. Mandalore and the Mandalorians are going to play a big role this season. What kind of role? How will they work? What kind of, piece in the puzzle will they play towards bringing this story of Rebels to its resolution? I'm not sure yet, but obviously they're going to play a significant part. And how big of a role will that whole Darksaber come into it? Not sure yet, but we will see. Look, I always say the purpose of a trailer is to get you at least initially excited or get you more excited about an upcoming project. And if that's the role of a trailer, this trailer's a winner. I was already looking forward to Rebels Season 4, obviously. This trailer has heightened my excitement. It's got me asking a lot of questions. It's really whet my appetite. I love this trailer. But the big question here is, what do you think of this brand new trailer for Rebels Season 4? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's going to make you ask more questions? Do you think it answers some questions? Jump into the comments section below and leave me your thoughts. And listen, guys, while you're here, take a second, click on that subscribe button, become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me on social media, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for me, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. I'm off to watch John Williams in concert again at the Hollywood Bowl. So until the next video, bye-bye.